welcome back to Making Finances Sexy. It is me, Rose Short, aka the Red Queen. Come down the rabbit hole with me. I'm a realtor here in the Phoenix Valley, as well as CEO of Critical Luxury and a financial consultant. It is my mission to help you make multiple streams of income, fire your boss, and live the dream lifestyle that you want. And of course, with me today is the beautiful and wonderful Miss Jessica Lay.
Hey guys, it's me, Jessica, your Rent Rave owned realtor and certified instructor with the company 101 Financial right here in our Valley of the Sun. I'm making it my mission to assist you in moving out of renting and into homeownership. No matter your situation, I'm ready to be your personal finance coach and first-time homebuyer specialist. I'm so excited because we're going to talk about financial literacy today and the importance of it.
Yes.
What do you think about financial literacy, Rose?
Oh, I think it's something that it's a shame it's not taught in school. I think so many people have a bad relationship with money because we're taught really conflicting things about money, and none of it is usually good, right? We're always taught like, oh, just because someone has money doesn't mean they're happy. Money doesn't buy happiness, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, we don't ever really teach anyone how to invest their money, how to save their money, how to make their money work for them. And I think it's just sad.
Yep, I totally agree. I know myself personally, and there's probably other people out there who don't come from money and they look at people with money in that nasty way, like, oh, they're lucky. Oh, it's mom and dad's money, like whatever. And just feeling really ugly feelings towards people that have wealth. But most times, and we hope most times, they actually put in the work and the time to build that, and also they're putting in the time to educate themselves about money, which is what we all can do and we're all capable of doing. And there's lots of resources out there, especially on this thing, boom, the laptop and YouTube channels. So yeah, let's get into it.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people, I think, just envy or criticize or, people that have money. But I mean, really, have a conversation with them. A lot of people that have made it are completely comfortable telling you how they did it and giving advice. Now, sometimes it's going to be crap advice, or sometimes they're going to have that ego in play. But oftentimes they'll tell you, this is how I did it.
Yep. And what you do with it is what you do with it.
Yeah, I mean, I shake my head at the people who go out and buy the, $500,000 car and stuff like that, but there are people that would shake their head at me for investing it in my dogs. So
Yeah. It's whatever you're into.
Yep.
But
Stop judging, start learning.
exactly. And implementing. That's the big
Yes. Yeah.
But anyways, financial literacy, what is it? It's our ability to understand and manage our finances effectively. It also involves having the knowledge and the skills to make informed financial decisions. A couple key reasons why financial literacy is important and how you can improve your finances. The first key reasons why financial literacy is important would be financial stability. That's probably the most obvious. And what financial stability does is it provides us with the tools like budgeting, tracking our expenses, using a credit card properly, paying off debt or avoiding debt altogether. And it provides us peace of mind and financial security, which is probably what we should all strive for, especially in these difficult times.
Yeah.
It also, we have our future planning. So being financial literate, you can actually plan for the future, as in setting goals or buy a house, whatever it is that you want to achieve. Becoming financial literate, creating a budget, building savings, emergency funds, all that good stuff can really set you up for the future. And again, I don't know why you wouldn't want to strive for this either.
Yeah. And there's a lot of banking apps and whatnot too now that make it really easy to budget. So I know Chase has a budget option, like you can create your budget with them. What's one, Rocket, I think it is.
Mhm.
Rocket Money or something like that, is a thing that connects to your bank account and be like, hey, did you know you spent this much on, vending machines, or like this much on this, the subscription's coming up. And it's like, oh, I don't even remember that subscription. Let me cancel it. There's a lot of tools out there that people can utilize for free. It's just, again, implementing and utilizing.
Yeah,
But they're
and
tools that are there to help.
yes, there is. And if people are like need that little push, like reminder, like you remember buying this or this subscription, then yeah, those apps are amazing. And there are a lot of people out there, me included, you included, we've paid for subscriptions that we forget about, and then we're not even using them.
Yep.
And whatnot. So that's really good to keep track of for sure.
Yeah, I on a whim one day downloaded one of them and I was like, yeah, like I'm on top of it, but let me just see. And then it was like $80, or no, it was more than $80. It was like $110 of stuff that I was like, what is this? And I
Right.
got that canceled and, save some money every month.
Exactly. Yeah, and $80, that's a good chunk and like
Yeah,
noticeable. Being financially literate, you also get increased confidence, in my opinion. So, by understanding your finances, you take control of your financial situation and then making decisions that align with your values and goals. And I feel like once I started taking control over my finances and created my budget, seeing my income and expenses, it really gave me that feeling of power. And I was like, this is awesome because now I can plan for my trips, the music festivals or traveling, and not be worried about coming back home wondering how I'm going to eat or pay rent worse or something. Like just having that control of your money can boost your confidence.
for sure. And
Mhm.
it gives you the ability to build in a buffer too, because there's nothing worse than thinking you have more money than you do. And
Mhm.
then logging in and seeing that negative on your account, and you're like, wait, what? What happened? What the heck? Whereas if you're on top of it a lot more, like, yeah, it sucks to check your account all the time, maybe. And like, maybe you're the kind of person who's kind of obsessive. Like, th- do it as works for you. But it's better to be on top of it and be surprised by having more money than it is to think you're fine. And then, like I said, come to find out you're really not.
Yeah, no, good point. And then last key reason that you should be financially literate is I think it improves quality of life. So definitely when we reduce money stress, then a lot of our stress and anxieties related to money go away, and we have more financial security. You're starting to achieve your goals, and it just leads you to a greater sense of well-being and fulfillment, in my opinion.
I agree. And I think that's kind of where the whole, oh, money doesn't buy happiness saying is a little incorrect. Like, I would say that's right, right? Money does not buy happiness, but what it does buy is your time back. It buys peace of mind. There's a lot of things that having enough money does do to aid in you being happy throughout the day. And so if you're stressed about money all the time, like, yeah, you're going to be grumpy, you're going to be stressed out, you're going to be lashing out, and it's not going to be good. Whereas if you know you have that buffer, you know exactly where your finances are at, the stress comes off, you can relax, and you are a little bit happier.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I remember because money used to stress me the F out. Like, I was one of those people who didn't want to talk about it, didn't want to look at it. Like, it was just, it would stress me out. And when I started educating myself and I got my financial 101 instructor and was now having to pay attention. There were moments where I would snap at Kalani or whatever, but it's literally all part of the process. Like, especially if you're getting started and you were like me and you didn't want to pay attention or talk to it, it's going to be difficult and you're going to get frustrated and stressed out. But you got to think long term, because your future self will definitely thank you if you put in that work now, that stress now, for better control and brighter future where you're not stressing out about your finances.
Yeah. I think some of it also comes from toxic corporate work environments. So, by law, companies can't say that you cannot discuss your pay, but you're still often told, don't discuss your pay. And so I think that's part of where the bad relationship with money comes from, is that we're always taught, like, like, we're not supposed to talk about our paycheck. Like, don't tell me what you get paid. I'm not supposed to know. Um, and so I think we're just constantly being conditioned to have a bad relationship with money and a bad relationship with the jobs in general, because don't talk about your pay.
Yeah.
So stupid. Talk
Yeah,
about your pay, guys. It is illegal for them not to let you talk about your pay.
exactly. Because income is the driving force of our finances. Like, we can't start paying off debt if we don't have income coming in. But if we strategize with your income and figure out your cash flow by creating a solid budget where you're still living within your means and how you want to live, then it's fantastic. And I agree. I don't want anybody to be afraid ever to talk about their finances or what they get paid. Like, I know in the corporate world, no one's getting paid what they should. So,
Yeah.
so that was a good point. Open communication about money really matters. Just having honest conversations about the budgeting, your debt, financial literacy, and responsibility can go a long way in a relationship or family. This develops a healthy relationship with money. People who are no longer afraid to discuss financial matters, seek advice, and make informed decisions can potentially avoid financial pitfalls.
And you can break the cycle. You can be the first one of your family to create actual generational wealth. But that doesn't happen if you're afraid to take risks, and if you're afraid to talk about it, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, and I love that because we're doing that in our family.
Heck yeah.
It's not easy, guys, but it's possible 100%. We don't have to be like our people before us.
Yeah. And you can still have a good quality of life living within your means. I think a lot of people don't realize that. I think a lot of people are still striving for, like, the nightclub life, or the going out for drinks and all that kind of stuff. And, like, they don't want to give that up, which is fine, but maybe cut back, or, at least really take a hard, honest look at your expenses. And it can be eye-opening, not only from a financial perspective, but from a, like, what am I doing with my life perspective?
Yeah, no,
you
that
know?
totally makes sense because I made a lot of lifestyle changes as soon as I enrolled in my 99 course. Because, like you said, when you're seeing what you're spending your money on, you start thinking, like, do I really need this, or do I really need to go out and buy everyone shots every weekend?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's good, and it's a form of maturing in a sense, when you start paying attention and you notice things that you may not need anymore, and it ends up being a healthier choice or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, and I think long term, if you learn the skills while you're struggling, or when you are struggling, or when you're not as well off, I think you carry on the skills the more money you make. So you avoid the pitfall of, oh, I suddenly have this influx of cash and I'm going to go buck wild and, like, look like I'm living the lifestyle. And then in 6 months, you're like, I really can't afford this lifestyle anymore, but, like, I got to keep up appearances. So, you avoid that pitfall, because the more you make, you don't necessarily spend more, or you up your, you start buying some things that make you a little bit more comfortable, or, like, maybe that you've always wanted, but you're still living within your means. So I think it's really, really important as a struggling person to have that. So again, we see it all the time with Powerball winners, right? Where they blow through the money in a year. Like, that's just insane. Put it in an annuity, give yourself a, monthly freaking salary, basically. And, like, let the money last. But so many of them go out and they make those big purchases without thinking about, 6 months down the road, and then they end up worse off.
Yeah, that brings up a good point. Delayed gratification, there's power in it.
Yes.
And just saving money in general. So, teaching yourself or your children to save for short and long term goals can encourage discipline and self control. Delayed gratification helps us resist impulsive spending and understand patience and planning, which I was a person who did not have patience back in the day, but starting to respect money more and and make some lifestyle changes now, like I'm okay with a slower process, and I actually am happier that way, like not just so I used to be a person that would, as soon as the music festival was announced, like bang, buy the tickets. Had no idea how I was gonna get there if it wasn't in Hawaii or Arizona. And like doing things like that really did not help my financial situation at all, because I was buying $200, $300 tickets, and then I had to figure out $200, $300 flights, and it just really adds up. But now, like making sure I have the money aside to go and buy the music festival tickets, it just, I feel a lot better doing it that way instead of just like, no, that lineup is sick. Get it right now.
Yep.
That just,
Well, and like you said, when you come home, you know that the bills are still paid.
exactly. I have so many friends and like acquaintances, they just get themselves into like trouble, and I'm just a little bit shocked that they want to continue this cycle of enjoying life but coming back and not enjoying, you know, real life. Like
Yeah.
working and whatnot.
Well, and that's kind of why in the business world, right? There's always the saying of like there's people who are okay being an employee and people who are not. And usually the people who are want to be employees, they don't know how to do anything other than instant gratification. Whereas entrepreneurs understand that, you know what, the first 5 years are gonna suck. But they're gonna lead to 15, 20 years of living the life I want.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the way you said that. Listen up, people. That's sexy right there.
That is sexy. Yeah, it's not, and that's why when people are like, "Oh, it must be nice," it's like, excuse me. Like one of the top affiliate marketers right now, he struggled for 4 years. In 4 years, he made like $300, and then it finally all clicked and fell. You know, everything fell together, and he made 70 million in his fifth year. So, you know, but then people look at it, they're like, "Oh, that's nice. Like you got all these resources," and it's like, no, no. For 4 years, he had nothing.
Yep.
But he didn't quit. He didn't give up. He didn't stop.
Yes.
And that's the thing, is so many people are ready to throw in the towel the second something goes wrong. And you gotta just suck it up, kiddo. like, you know, that's what they say in Wyoming, cowboy up. Like, yeah, it's gonna suck, but you gotta do it.
Exactly.
You want it to suck 10 years from now, or do you want it to suck for the next 2 years? Choose it.
Yep. 2 to 5 years sucking sounds a lot better than the rest of my life sucking. Financial literacy is just a crucial aspect of our lives, though it may not be an easy journey, like we say, but there's constant fluctuations in inflation and other global events. So it's just, I think, essential to become more mindful of our spending habits, and starting now can significantly impact your future. And the
Yeah.
younger, I think, the better, but it's never too late to get your stuff together. I have students that are 18 coming out of high school, and I have students that are in their 60s, but they're just, you know, done with it, like done with the poor credit score and done with their debt. and just ready to make the change that can break them free from all of it and really calm their soul because you just feel so stuck when you're not financially sound, and we don't want that for anybody.
Mm-mm. No, and especially if your retirement plan is a 401k, right? Like that's or Social Security. It's a very small amount of what, from what you're making now to what you're going to be living off of. So if you don't know how to budget at that age, you're going to struggle and you're going to be, one of those 70-year-old people as a Walmart greeter. Like, as much as I hate to say it that way, like you're going to have to keep working, unfortunately, in order to survive because it's not enough.
Yeah. Yep, and that's what we don't want personally. So I just kind of want to leave it up to the audience to decide, like, are you comfortable and happy where you are? But try to just think from where you are right now, what is it going to look like 10 years from now? And if
Yep.
you feel like you're still going to be in that same predicament, like live life, spend all my money, get back to work, earn more, spend it all, like it's something's gotta give. And when we age and things like that, like we're not going to be moving around as we are today. So
Yeah.
whatever it is you can do now, and that I think is budgeting and getting more financially literate is a great starting point.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Jess, for that awesome insight in financial literacy. Next week, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth about making money on social media. Not necessarily talking affiliate marketing on this one, just talking about the different avenues that you can just use social media as is to make some extra cash.
Yeah.
Have a sexy week.